Bling Blau, Chicken Chow Mein. Shout out to MK with a whole bunch of other AKAs. You couldn't join us today doing business in Limpopo. Love you, bro. You know the vibes.
Limpopo Boys World Vibes.
And it's me, Big Fred, aka the male hip hop Felicia Mabuza. Sato. Was really good.
Kitso fit. Kitso.
Oh man. A glorious day. Once again, we have an alumni, sobering alumni on audio.
Yeah.
But on the visual.
This is the first time on the visuals.
Yeah.
Like
last time was just the audio.
Yeah, last time was just the, he is, like rapper. You know what I mean? A great author, a great lyricist. You know what I mean? Penmanship. Snazzy dresser.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Bench press your whole family.
You know?
Facts.
You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Can break into a break dance or two.
Break into a break
Just
dance.
might, you know?
After that, one hand push up with the
You
fist
know what
on.
I'm saying?
Come on, man.
African Goku.
African Goku. You know? Messing with your favorite spirit animal.
You know?
Come on.
I mean...
Sure.
Come on.
There's nothing much more to say. You know what I mean? A very, very talented, handsome man. I'm not even pausing that.
I thought about pausing it and I was like,
it's a fact.
It's a fact, bro.
It's a fact.
You're a pretty motherfucker.
My nigga, dog.
This man beautiful.
It takes real ones to recognize. You know what I mean?
The man's beautiful.
I mean, come on.
You know what I mean?
You know?
And
hey, don't make me take this mask off, man. Come on now.
Future. What up? Priddy Ugly, what up, man?
Yo, what up, gents?
What's going on,
It's
bro?
really great to be here again. You know what I mean?
It's
or for you guys to be here.
Yeah.
It's great to be here in the vicinity and where you basically created, mastery and magic.
A beautiful body of work.
Yo, thank you, gentlemen.
Bro, like I don't even know how to thank you even. Because I think the conversation that we've had just off air was just on the appreciation of rap music as an art and how it's been neglected for a while. You know what I mean? And I'm not even gonna say if locally or anything like that. Just globally, generally, the art of rap has been neglected, and we're seeing a resurgence now. And definitely here, you're one of the spearheads of the Let's Rap movement.
Rappeng my foot.
Rappeng my foot. And I think just to start it off, I think what was the catalyst for that notion to say, look, man, I want to rap.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I'm nice at rapping, and I've given you the pockets. You know what I mean? I've shown you that I can do this, but I want to go full on and do it holistically.
Yeah.
Sure, man. There was like a couple of things, I think like number one was like, it's officially my second album, my sophomore album. And on the first album, I was kind of like told not to rap, by the powers that be at that time. And it was just like, yo, man, like, yo, you've been rapping. Come on, we don't want to hear you rap. This is, what the CEO told me. Man, let's try and make Priddy Ugly like a commercial success. Aren't you tired of being like slept on? These words haunt me, like, like he said to me, he's like, yo, man, he's like, if you want to be like Reason, then you're gonna continue doing what you're doing.
Yo. I remember you telling me that sentence, and we just couldn't put it out.
I was like, and he's like, I mean, that's generally like what he felt about Reason. He's like, yo, man, he's dope. I'm not gonna deny the fact that he's dope. He can rap, but no one cares. And he's like, I definitely don't care. So it's like, if you want to be someone like that, then continue doing what you're doing. But for as long as you're here at Ambitious Entertainment, want to make you a superstar, let's put that rap shit aside for a little bit. Let's focus on getting hits. Let's focus on getting radio play. Let's focus on like the 3-year-old getting to know you and the 60-year-old getting to know you. And he's like, because that's what's going to make your household name. And I was like, I was like, all right, cool, man. I feel you. You know.
I mean, there's merit to what they're saying at times.
Yeah, you know, at times, not for sure, man. I mean,
for,
like
for the 3-year-old to the 60-year-old,
Yeah.
that you have to sacrifice something.
nah,
for
facts.
that,
You know what I'm
I mean?
saying? So I mean, just coming into this project, it was like, yo, I didn't have that energy or that cloud,
Yeah.
you know, in my space. It was more like, yo, man, like, let's rap. I mean, we in this COVID area. I mean, COVID period now, and it was just like people are at home. I just felt like I had a lot more time to be at home to listen to stuff. I got into like vlogging and blogging myself.
Yeah.
You know, me and Buntle started Hamului, listening to a lot more music, a lot more albums than I ever did. You know, I've never really, I'll be honest in saying I was never really the person who really listened to like a lot of other people's music and not hip hop. You know, I listened to more house music and kwaito and I guess lo-fi instrumentals than I did actual rap albums, you know? So like in that COVID time, like I listened to like everything, bro, from the most commercial stuff to like, you know, I listened to Illmatic for the first time as an adult. You know, I listened to it as a kid, you know, and it was just like,
But now
cool,
you're
I
taking
liked
it,
it, you
as
know?
an adult, taking it
I
in.
was just like, you know, listen to it as an adult. Like, oh, that's crazy. Listen to the Blueprint. Jay-Z's my favorite rapper. I'd never listened to Reasonable Doubt before, you know, until like a year ago. It's crazy.
Hectic.
You know what I'm saying? So never listened to Kendrick Lamar like that, you know. So listened to Good Kid, Mad City. Never heard Section 80. Everyone always told me about Section 80. Never made time to listen to it like that, you know. So I was able to like, you know, just catch up on like a lot of stuff, you know, and just linking up with Vaughn, you know, my partner, my manager.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, man, like, you know, like obviously like this was just coming from GOAT, and GOAT was like my project. It wasn't like for me, it was just like a project that I was putting out for people, you know, because like that year I got married. Damn, so many things were happening. We did the Rick J project.
Yeah.
And just towards the end of the year, I was like, you know what, man, I can't end the year off without a project.
Yeah.
And we put Go together like really, really quickly. But people really, really liked that. And when I
Yep.
was doing that, I wasn't doing it for no record, for no radio play, for no commercial success. I wasn't trying to do none of that. It was just me just trying to put out like a rap album, but not on very rap type beats. And like people really enjoyed that, you know, like, you know, Vaughn even spoke to me about that. Freddie and them came to speak to me. They're like, yo, man, that shit is like fire. And I was like, wait, that's fire? And I was like, oh, damn. I'm
was
like, what if I really, really, really do the rap shit? Because then I wasn't really like, I was just scraping the surface of it. Just like, man, I feel like I'm nicer than most dudes. That's it, you know. I'll play with it here and there. And then like, just like the narrative over the last couple of years was like, yo, this dude can't rap. And I was like, oh, damn, people really actually genuinely think I can't rap.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously not speaking about the Priddy Ugly fans and like the real hip hop fans. I'm talking about just the general people who have a say on Twitter, in the streets, or whatever the case is. You know, it's like, you know,
I remember
this
that
dude-
Twitter conversation.
yeah, you know,
was
this dude
weird.
can't rap, and I get it. I mean, obviously, if you're only gonna listen to songs like Tela and
Was that the
In the
conversation though? What was that the conversation that you can't rap, or was it the conversation that you're not a hit maker?
nah, the conversation was actually that I can't rap
at all.
It wasn't about his.
You know, it actually wasn't about hit.
The only
And
hit
then-
thing came was like, I think they compared like they don't care about, you don't make any hits. The biggest
Sure.
hit you made is
Is
getting with.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know? The hit thing came after like, it's like, dude said, yo, dude can't rap. I'm like, oh, dude, I can't rap. I dropped like some freestyles here and there. Then it was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you can rap, but you can't make a hit though. You know, it's like, it's like, you guys better decide like where you're trying to be at, you know? And for me, it's like, the noise doesn't like really like affect me at all like that. It's just like I was really coming across people in the streets who actually care about me, even family members, friends.
Yeah.
Like on some, man, we saw what they're saying about you on Twitter. And it's like, oh, damn, this is reaching even you guys,
Yeah.
you know? My mom even saying like, yo, like, you know, my friends are telling me they're saying bad things about you on social media
Hectic.
and whatever. I was like, damn, this is reaching my mom now. And it's like, damn, okay. So it's like, this is not just noise that I can't just ignore and just let it be. Because for me, it's just like, dog, let noise be noise.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I actually have an opportunity and a platform to prove people wrong, actually, you know? And that's when we started working on this project. And I think in between that, just before we had started, I just did the Freestyle Fridays thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember saying to Bunto, I'm like, yo, man, if I don't have like the best verse like this week or in this whatever, then I've slept on myself and I've slept on you.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, dude, it took me like...
It baffles me, man.
Like about an hour or so to pin that thing down. And it's like, I did think it was going to be like a dope verse, but it's like, really the rapping stuff I do in my sleep, bro. I really, really do. It's just not anything I've like really focused 100% of my attention on in the last, say, maybe 2-3 years or so, you know. And it was like, so getting into that bag was like actually very easy for me. And it's like, oh man, a lot of people actually like undermine that. Even the MCs who are asking me to be part of the whole thing don't really think I can do it like that, you know. And
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like,
I mean, you know, when I say that, I mean, shout out to dudes like, to big homies like Stogie. And I think Stogie's always shown me love. I remember when
Egypt came out, he said that was album of the year.
That was the best album of the year, you know? But I'm saying like, even after I dropped that verse, you know, like, there's been a lot of conversation behind that where it's like, yo, man, did you guys know you could do that?
Yeah.
You know, to other artists, you know what I mean? And other people just in the hip hop fraternity, and you know, and people close to me are like, yeah, of course, like we definitely knew he could do that, you know.
Yeah.
But I realized that, yo, it's even surprising for even dudes like him who respect me. So what more for people who don't know me, you
Don't
know?
know you like that.
It's like, oh damn. So it was really like an opportunity. And after we dropped that, you know, it was actually Vaughn who was like, yo, bro, you see, like when you do that rapping shit, that's when people are really, really, really like speaking about you.
They're hungry
they
for it.
They should be speaking about you. So we need to give them something like this. And I was like, all right, cool, I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and like at the time, I remember watching the Silver Ring last year, and at the time I had Do-Rag, which is one of my favorite joints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shout out to you, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember like Mokgethwa even was like, dog, I'm just like, come on, dog. He's like, you know, like dude's not pushing this thing and whatever.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was like, I wanted to drop videos for that and whatever, but it was just like, yo, man, let's hold off on that stuff. I think people know you can do that kind of stuff here and there,
I'm
you know?
still mad, though. I won't even lie.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
I won't even lie.
Yeah.
Bro.
I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I hit you on the side there about Do-Rag.
Yeah.
Like, I hit you on the DM. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
this song it's amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, it hit me like unexpectedly. You know,
For
it was
sure.
the Quarantine EP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then this joint just comes from left field.
I think you plagued us with that line for like a couple of months, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we could do that.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. My girl's still upset about me not shooting the video to that.
I'm
you know?
so mad because that Quarantine, that was like Do-Rag season for most dudes.
Yep,
That's
sure,
like,
yeah.
So it made sense. It was so fitting as well.
It was so fitting, and I was
Yeah.
just, I even started having like, you know, creative treatments for it in
Yeah,
my
thinking
head.
about
Like,
it, yeah.
like, yo, you
Yeah.
can shoot the quarantine. This is a quarantine
Perfect
video,
quarantine
bro. Like,
vibes,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like, and it's like, yo, I say Lavas Plastic in Do-Rags, and you know, in quarantine,
Yeah.
you gonna go down.
That's actually what was going. Yeah.
It was like the
We
perfect
all at home.
Yeah.
It was the perfect lockdown activity song. You know what I
sure.
mean? And I'm just
Yeah.
like, how is this dude not
How is he
looking
sleeping on
You
this?
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I mean, I even watched like, you know, your stories, and then I think you went to like a restaurant in Mpumalanga or something, and then
damn,
and then some dude played it.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
And then
Yeah.
he's
I'm
rapping to
performing,
it word
yeah.
for word. And I'm just like, bro, like, and this is off of something you're not promoting. You're
This
not,
is something you just
yeah.
put out.
Yeah.
and I'm just like, this thing has legs. Why not just, you know,
Sure.
Fuel
put it
the
in an
fire.
Uber. Boom.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Hey man, like I think those are my sentiments also, man. It's like I also felt like, yo, I could have capitalized on that thing like a lot more. But I think at that time, you know, like we were planning this album, and even till this day, you know, I've spoken to Vaughn also. I felt like, yo, man, like even while we've been prepping this album because it's taken such a long time, we could have like, you know, we could have had people hold on to like
some
something
loosies.
in the meantime, you know, that could have like, you know, could have maybe held us into like December. We could have got some shows in December, whatever it is, you know. Coming into this year, you know, with the momentum from that coming into this. But I think at that time we'd also just dropped the freestyle, and it was just like this Do-Rag and the Lockdown EP and this you know, and this freestyle, you know, and this was like, yo, man, like, yo, the freestyle is what people like really, really, really wanted to hear. It's like Durag is like people who heard the joint, and like, you know, a lot of my fans, mainly like, I'll mainly speak about like my social media fan base, you know, the Instagram fan base, the Facebook, like they really love that. They were resharing and reposting that thing like all the time. But it's like really what was like, what actually like created like a real conversation, a real tangible conversation was a freestyle, you know? Because that wasn't just for like the Priddy Ugly fans. That was for like people who weren't my fans even before that. That was for the rap fans. That was for, you know, and I was just like, oh, damn. So it's like, we actually have an opportunity here, you know, to really do something and run with something, you know, or run with this more specifically. And it would be like, and that's mainly like the rapping thing. And and I mean, like, you know, I was in a different space, in a space where like I done things my way for like the longest time, bro. Like the longest time I've been doing it my way. It wasn't really like, you know, things weren't coming together the way I would have liked them to or would have hoped that they would. And now working with a new team that really believed in me. It was the first time I'm actually working with a team that actually has like really genuinely believes in me and is sometimes more invested in the work than I am sometimes, you know. I have like producers who are like, dude, who are slaving when I'm like in another space, you know, type situation of like they coming up with the next concept. They're already trying to think about like what the next album sonics are gonna be and whatever. Like, you know, dudes that are really, 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 really attached to what we're working on. And, you know, and the team just felt like, yo, man, like it's dope that we have that. But it's like, yo, man, what's really gonna make the impact is like what we're working on now, which is the album that's coming out, you know, the next couple of weeks. And it was like, yo, man, just hold off on everything. Just take a break from everything. And it was difficult for me because for me, it's like, yo, out of sight, out of mind. It's like, yo, if I'm not posting about me being in studio or like people think I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
And, but that was a risk that we were willing to take, dog, you know, to really, really properly craft this thing with no distractions, you know. Vaughan has said it like many, many times. It's like, you know, like with the freestyle that came, it's like we had like, there's like intangibles that you get, that we got from that like, we can't duplicate again, you know. It's just like, yo, if we give them a freestyle this week and then next week I drop a Rick Jade song, it's just like that conversation that we had from the freestyle, we kind of like...
We're confusing
the audience, and it's like a Rick J joint. Then after that, I'm dropping like a video where I'm like dancing and, you know, we talking about do-rags or whatever the case is. It's just like, maybe that's where I've lost my, you know, I've kind of confused my audience in the last couple of releases, maybe, let me say, you know.
I remember I've said that about you. Like the toughest thing about you is that you can do everything,
bro. And I feel that, bro. You know.
Yeah.
So that was a tough thing, you know. But I'm very happy with the decision that we made, you know. So. I
understand, you know what I mean? An artist has to be an artist. And,
but also I think that
feels,
quiet moment was necessary.
Yeah. Nah, for sure.
Because once this thing comes out, it's a whole different energy. Yeah. So I do think it's nice to have that quiet moment.
Sure.
And then to reintroduce yourself in this, like,
for sure,
in this manner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it was a good move. I think it was a good move as well.
Yeah.
Look, the execution is admirable, you know what I mean? And I think I just wanted to take a step back and because you've mentioned like the team that you're working with very extensively, and you spoke about your relationship with Vaughn and with Fred, and I'm guessing that is Stay Low, right? So
for sure.
So and then you've got Gas as well, right?
Yeah.
So how did the partnership with Gas and Stay Low happen?
Sure.
How did you guys strike that partnership going into this project now?
Sure. So basically, I've always had Gas. You know, for anybody who doesn't know, that's Global African Sounds, aka the Global African Stream. And I founded that it was myself, Buntle, my DJ So Nice back in 2016. just before so I'd had everything ready. We set up the website and like we're just getting ready to launch it back in 2016, and then I just signed to Ambitious Entertainment. But that's because like man, like I had no resources, genuinely, bro. Like all the plans that I wanted and I had, we couldn't execute because yeah, bro, there wasn't the support. Like I mean, my team was my team, but I mean, Buntle is my partner also, you know. She's not like my manager, my PR agent, and my investor, etc., and my DJ. It's my DJ. These are just people who believe in me. So it's like, yo, man, I really actually need a team for us to be able to execute the things that we need to be doing. We need to be able to go on a radio tour. We need to be able to shoot music videos, do the merchandise thing, you know, get the stuff played and playlisted, etc., etc. And that's when the Ambitious Entertainment, you know, opportunity came about. And yeah, so anyway, so that's where the Global African stream started. So went into Ambitious, obviously put everything on hold where gas is concerned because of Ambitious, you know, like I got to Ambitious and they're like, nah, man, we're not going to use that website. You know, we're pushing this Ambitious thing. Yo, we're not going to use your channel. We got our own channel. We're not going to, you know, it was all of that stuff. It was like, all right, cool, whatever. So now, fast forward, leaving Ambitious Entertainment, was like, yo, man, now I have this opportunity to do this thing like right. And shortly after we dropped Goat, you know, I've been speaking to Vaughn for some time then, you know, and at that time, you know, he was getting ready to start up Stalo. I think that already kind of like been launched already. They were pushing Lord Cares already at the time, but it was still in its very infant stages, you know. And I had my gas thing, and Fred and Vaughn came to come see me at the crib, just to chop it up, man, just to see where we're at, you know. It was really just like a conversation just to talk about, you know, just life in general, just catching up, and let me know about the stuff that they're working on. I let them know about like my plans to like really get gas up and running again. And they're like, yo, man, who's the team? What's happening? Who's, you know, and I was honest in saying like, yo, bro, I don't have a manager. I haven't had a manager. You know, I've never really actually had a manager. The only manager I had was when I was at Ambitious Entertainment, and that was not a manager, you know. We're just in a situation. It's like I got into that situation thinking that I would have the opportunity for the first time to have a team, and you get into that situation and you see that, yeah, there's a staff that's there, but it's not a team that's dedicated to make sure that Priddy Ugly, you know, succeeds necessarily, because it's like there's 20 other artists, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had like small little disputes, like, yo, man, I don't feel like this guy's treating my artworks with the right integrity. Yo, when we shot the In the Mood video, I was like, yo, this is not the way I do my videos. You know, like the product of this takes away from all the stuff we've been working on all this time type situation, you know. And it's not because like dudes weren't good, bro. It's just like, I mean, when there's 20 other artists, like we don't have time to be sitting around every single day into having like late nights to make sure that Priddy Ugly lads, you know, to tailor, you know, it's just like, yo, man, hey, we'll take you to the same interview that Java did and that MT did, and like we're just doing like there wasn't anything tailor made for me. It was just like, you know, they expected like what worked for Java to work for me, and it's like, yo, we don't have the same audience necessarily, you know. So I don't want to sit here and say dude didn't do their jobs. I just didn't think it was the right establishment for me, you know.
Nice.
And so when I was looking up with Vaughn and them, and I let them know like, yo, man, I ain't got a team like that, or they're like, yo, man, we actually trying to put together like a team, you know. We have this establishment called Stalo. This is what we're trying to do, and our business ideas aligned, our creative ideas aligned. And he's like, yeah, man, like, you know, we're dope if we do it together, you know, partner up, you know. You don't have to get rid of Stalo. We're not going to be like the label that's going to say, nah, we don't want gas, you know. We just signed in Priddy Ugly, whatever. Stalo was saying, all right, cool. We want to partner up with gas because we see a vision. We believe in the vision that you guys are working towards, and we'd love to help you really establish that and make it like a household name. And even outside of making it a household name, you know, we're looking at like the legacy of Priddy Ugly over the next 10 years, you know. So, and how do we do that? And that's how we came down and we sat down, we carefully constructed what the first project was gonna be like, you know. Shooter and Vaughn more specifically were in their own corner already trying to come up with the beats that they thought would be dope for us to kind of like start with. And it was dope, man. I'd never actually really worked on a project where like dudes kind of already had like ideas in mind for me.
Basically A&R.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, I'd never been, I guess, A&R before, you know? And again, that's not to say that people ambitious weren't trying to do that, but like at that time, I was still very adamant on doing things myself and my way, you know? And this was the first time where I was like, you know what, I actually really trust the dudes that I'm working with, that I'm 100% willing to like relinquish whatever things that had me stuck in my ways, you know? And I was like, all right, cool, no, it doesn't have to be solely Weechi Beats. Doesn't have to be solely this guy doing this. Oh. Yeah, I
don't think we need to introduce this guy.
Superstar.
Sunlight.
Designer. Oh, bro, you just got it started with the whole.
Probably lost that train of thought completely.
You already know, dog. Yes, sir. But you the dog. Do your thing, bro.
They're making mimosas.
Pull up on your
tell the people what they can expect from you. What you want to say? Nix. That is the worst question. What can people expect from the Alpa?
It's like, yo. Shout out to my dude, Larry, you know. So it's like, those who get to hear the album, you know, will see there's a nice surprise from my dude as well there, you know.
Yeah.
Bodega Boys forever, yo. The Bodega remix is out there.
Yeah,
Get it, you know what I mean? 2Player is out right now. I'll do the punting for him.
2Player.
He's got some fire. We got some more fire collabs coming through as well, you know.
That's one of the hardest working rappers in the game right now.
For sure, bro.
People knew how much work he's putting in currently.
People need to put in work too.
Yeah,
yo, Joe.
Hey.
For real.
Hey.
They'll be blown away, man.
I completely lost my trailer.
Yeah, but you were saying it's the first time you worked with a team that believed in you and that you let take the
for sure, though, you know. So there was like a lot of like A&Ring. So I don't want to take full credit for like the work that we the people are about to hear, you know. It's like if you're working with a very dedicated team of people who are on it, bro, and like who really love this thing and this thing, by this thing specifically I mean hip hop, then you know, then the product is of the quality of the product that we're about to release now, you know.
Yeah. And it's gorgeous, man. But let's get into your competitive spirit.
Yeah.
It's very competitive on this.
You're sparring.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, yo, hey. You know, I mean, there's a lot of talks on the freestyle that you dropped.
For sure.
And of course, the bars that were, you know, slightly seasoned, you know?
Yeah.
Spicy. You know what I mean?
Purry.
Purry had some sparring words for the top tier in hip hop now, you know what I mean? I mean, like you quote yourself as the greatest Aries rapping. Aries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's the bad hair bar that all of the blogs ran with.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And I knew that too. Yeah.
And they ate it up. It's just like, yo, here's the bait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
And then folks ate it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what was the plan behind that? Was that the initial plan? Is it to spark a conversation?
Sure.
Is it just friendly sparring? Is it just to say, yo, this is the spirit of hip hop. Let's rap. We homies, and like, you know what I mean? Chris Paul and LeBron are homies, but on the court, you know what it is.
Yeah.
So what was that?
Yeah, man, it's like a mixture of everything that you mentioned, you know. I actually woke up on my birthday. It was on the birthday. And I remember just feeling like I don't want anything for my birthday. And I always liked the idea of like releasing something on my birthday, you know. I think lockdown extended the EP. I dropped it on my birthday last year. And then, and this time around, I was like, yo, dog, it's my birthday and I'm not dropping nothing. The album was actually supposed to be ready for my birthday, but it's like, dude, we're still mixing. And it was just like, there was still so much that we still had to do at that time. And I woke up and I hit up my boy Herc, like 7 a.m. in the morning. I was like, yo, bro, I'm trying to drop a freestyle today. Can you pull up on me? And he's like, all right, cool, no, sure, I'll pull up, Actually, can you come fetch me? So I rode out with Africa, I had her on my lap. I know it's dangerous, but I mean, the dude doesn't live far from me, So got in the whip, went to go fetch my boy Herc.
Yeah.
And he worked on the beat like really, really quickly. And I was like, yo, man, let's just get it. I'm not trying to waste no time. And yeah, and the whole purpose of that whole thing was just to like, rappeng buffets. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, to really be honest with you, it's like, I don't have no rapper friends, bro. Like, I don't have no rapper friends. I mean, Mokgethwa is like my dude. Dudes like Ginger, like my dudes. These are all people that are respected in the game. But by friends, I mean like dudes that I grew up with, that I owe you, like I don't owe no rapper like my life, type situation, and just like and I'm really looking at it like when things are like going bad in my life, it's not like I have like my rapper friends to like come and help me out financially or whatever the case is, So it's like I have nothing to lose by like saying anything about anyone. Yeah. So especially because it's not like I know dudes on like that much of a personal level to a point where like I'm really dissing you about like some real shit, some personal. It's like it's not personal at all. Yeah. I'm just saying like, yo, man, it's like since we're not friends anyway, dog, it's just like there's no use in like me just like tiptoeing around everybody like I'm afraid of anyone, because I'm not afraid of nobody, no rapper, just period, And this is with me giving like respect to like a lot of dudes like Yati, Youngsta is like Youngsta. I'm like I have the utmost respect for that dude, like the utmost respect for that. That's someone I actually can say is like someone who I'm like close to, But even with that said, it's not like I'm speaking to Youngsta every month, every 6 months or whatever. Like sometimes we checking on each other like twice a year type situation. So that's what I mean when I say I don't have friends. So like don't anyone who's listening to this like don't
misconstrue it.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, yo, bro, I'm trying to rap, and like really it wasn't about me even like dissing anybody or like coming at anybody. I was just like rhyming, and I was rhyming with the word birthday, So it was like. And as I'm rhyming, it's like, birthday, I cool. Eventually, like, the rhyme word got to, like, birdcage. It's like, who can I put in a birdcage?
The eagle.
Oh, cool. Put an eagle in a birdcage. Gingerbread. Oh, man. That was just like, man. Trilly knows this as well. Like, I have nothing against, like,
no
Trilly.
qualms.
Yeah. But it's just like, I'll get the fuck out of it now, because it's just like, again, it's just like a casualty like of war. And the whole line with the greatest rapper that's an Aries, it's like, I'm an Aries. It's just like, I don't think about Aries being an Aries, and I'm sure he's not the only Aries that there is,
Just rapping at that.
It's just, I'm just like rapping, but I knew when I delivered that, I'm like, I know how people are going to take this. But it's just like, the rappers who are off for this rap thing are gonna listen to this thing and be like, "Oh, dudes are rapping, man." That's fun. Like I think Trilly like commented on the thing and it was like, "Yo, man, this is fucking dope, man. I'm rapping my foot. Happy birthday, Rick." That's how I expect you to take it. Yeah. And if you took it any other type of way, then problem, then there's something that we need to address. Then as Machita, But I mean, no one responded to me, so I don't think anyone took it like in any like type of way for you to respond to, And I was also just saying, it's like, yo, man, I'm so much in my rap bag that like, if dudes really actually want to take it to a point where like now there's responses or whatever, I'm ready for that too.
You can do that too.
You know what I'm saying? Because then we can be more direct about like what we're doing. But like all the freestyle was just like, it was just for fun, bro. It's like, and even the line about like, the bad hair line, and just like, dude, I'm in the freestyle with bad hair. Yeah. I hadn't done my hair in months. I've been graying out my hair and stuff. And it's just like, what bad hair? Who had bad hair? You can't have tall racks if you haven't, whatever the line is. You know what I'm saying? I really suck with remembering my lines also. But obviously, I knew how people were gonna take that. And it was mainly like I knew how the fans would make it a thing. It's not even the artist.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, cool. I'll let the fans do their thing because they will be the ones who create the conversation. But I literally I dropped that thing, edited the video, put the lyrics up quickly within an hour, and I went to go enjoy the rest of my birthday. I came back and the next day and we trending for 3 days or whatever the case is. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So this is what you guys want. Do you guys want me to be dissing dudes or what? Because that's why it trended. It wasn't trending because I was rapping, over rapping, and it was just oh, he dissed this guy and he dissed this guy.
Yeah, it was the clickbait stuff.
So it was like, oh, cool. Yeah. So it was for them. It's for the clickbaiters, bro. Really nothing personal, man. I think I'm just I'm a very big fan of hip hop and rap. And this is also just me saying all right, cool, because dudes always have this, the fans have this thing of even when I drop a freestyle that has nothing to do with any of the rappers mentioned.
Sure.
They'll be like, oh yeah, but you're not better than this guy. Oh, but you're not better than that. And it's like, yo, my freestyle had nothing to, I'm just rapping, So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm doing this thing for you guys, for those ones who like to khobua, know? This is for y'all, so... Yeah, man. I think it was just some fun rap banter, bro. You know? That's really all it was. Yeah.
Right, dope, man. We enjoy a little banter. It is a fun thing, you know what I mean? So it is a fun thing because as rappers and the culture of hip hop, the comparison thing is. You're never gonna escape that. You know what I mean? Bro. It's like sports and soccer. It's like you team.
You come up with fantasy leagues of rappers.
It's a fantasy league. You know what I mean? There's team Priddy Ugly that says no.
Exactly.
Team such and such is not gonna be team Priddy in a World Cup. You know what I mean? So that's all natural. You know what I mean? So now we get to the album, right?
Sure.
But before the album, like I said, the rollout has been. It's almost it's like a beautiful masterclass, just you know what I mean, when the journey to an album and the way that you carved out what the experience is supposed to be for the listener is admirable because you fed us the freestyles and you fed us the visuals that give the energy to the freestyles, you know what I mean? And then now you put up a prequel of sorts, if I could call it that.
Sure.
And that's the tracks that you put out with Youngsta.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
sir.
What made you say, I'm going with Youngsta and we're going to do this minute project, so to say?
Sure, man. It's just there's a whole backstory to that one. So the song The Pen, I've actually been sitting on for over a year now. And just before I linked up with Vaughn and them, it was one of the songs that I did and I was getting ready to roll out back then, I didn't have a feature verse on it at the time. I did have a second verse, but I didn't want to use a second verse on it. I was just dude, I'm just rapping, just so much rapping and it's just coming from me, So I removed the second verse and I was like, yo man, I really want to put someone who's really who's an advocate for the pen and for lyricism and writing on this thing, and someone who's gonna just completely just finish this off and almost put the icing on the cake type situation. And the first dude that I reached out to was Stogie. I still don't know if it's pronounced Stogie or Stogie.
It's Stogie,
yeah. So I reached out to Stogie and. And he loved it. He was like, yo, man, love it. Love Weechi. His response actually was yo, love that Weechi dude. Crazy guy. Weechi's one of the producers on the song. It was mainly produced by a dude named Herc. And Weechi came on and he tagged it. And and then to really be honest, I just waited too long for that verse to come in, And we gave it a long time, at least 6 months. And I was like, you know what, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Let's move on, love to him. I'm sure we'll work on something in the future, and no love lost, bro. There wasn't anything personal like that or anything. And I was like, all right, cool, man. I really want the song to drop, And I was like, yo, we finishing up the album. And obviously, like with the album, I've done like all the features. I mean, I've done all the songs, but hadn't included the features yet. We're saving the features for like the last, that was gonna be the last thing. And when it came to like the pen, me and Vaughn were speaking, and we're just trying to think about like, yo, who else we could put on this record. And I was like, yo, man, Youngsta, dog. I'm like, that was my second option. You know, in fact, I actually wanted 3 artists on the song, but then like my verse was already like 2 minutes, 30 seconds or something like that.
It's a lot of bars that you...
Yeah, it was a long ass verse, you know? So I'm like, I don't want a 6-minute long song, you know? So I sent it to Youngsta, and at the time I was like reluctant to send it to him because I'd already sent him many records already that like, because every time I come up with an idea, like I always like, you know, I'll send it to whoever I feel like is fitting. You know, I've always been the type of dude where like I'd rather record the entire song, verse and chorus, and then give it to you. You know, I'm not the type of dude who records the chorus and then like I don't send you the verses. You know, it's just like, no, I want you to hear what I did. It's like this is the bar. Like it's either you match it or you kill it. And I don't mind that. I don't want you to come with like a subpar verse. Like, yo, you hear how I came through on that thing, so like you better kill it, you know? So, and I know Youngsta, I mean, Come to My Kasi was the same thing. Hosh was the same thing. I gave him those products to say the way they were. And I was just like, yo, bro, just finish this thing for me, you know? And and Youngsta did exactly that, bro, you know? So he absolutely like, you know, annihilated that as like one of my favorite like Youngsta verses, like, you know, because obviously he drops like a lot of verses on other people's joints all the time, you know? And but that one, you know, not being biased to myself, I was like, yo, this is the Youngsta that I really enjoy type situation, you know? And so I was saying, so like I didn't want to send it to him initially because I had sent him already like a Come to My Kasi Part 2 that, you know, I sent Mokgethwa actually, you know, it was actually meant for Mokgethwa, me and Youngsta, you know, but I'm also giving away too much. So that was like one joint that I sent Youngsta like a couple songs back and forth. So it's like, even before he got a chance to send me back all those songs, I sent him the pen also. And I was like, and literally what I said to him, I was like, yo, bro, I know I've sent you a lot, you know, but like, but if you can prioritize this one, I'd really appreciate it. And he was like, yeah, no, sure, no doubt. He loved it. His response immediately afterwards was like, yo, bro, we actually need to just put out a collab project like now and finish it up. And we have enough songs to do that too, you know? But yeah, we'll, you know, look out for that in the future, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you know, so the pen was still part of the project. And just before, now we're done mixing the album and whatever. And Zuki is mixing the album now, and we have gone through a couple of mixing engineers before. Wishi had mixed it, OD had mixed it, who was our in-house producer, in-house engineer. And I just wasn't really kind of happy like with the mixes of the pen, more specifically, the pen and Spiritual Warfare. Because the mixes that were going for on the album were mixes that were more vocal orientated and not like beats. Like it was more about like the beat being in the background and like we want people to hear the vocals. But with the pen and Spiritual Warfare, when me and Wishi had first like started working on those songs, they were more like an energy based thing. So I needed the beats and the low end to really be like really, really hard. And when we were mixing the album, because now, like I said, it was more like a vocal orientated album, I just didn't like I didn't like how the songs were sounding with everything else there, you know? Just like, yeah, I mean, we mixed it according to how everything else on the song was, on the album was sounded, but like, it didn't sound as solid as how I intended it to, you know? And then want to come up with an idea like very later on, just before we submitted the project, it's like, yo, how about we remove Spiritual Warfare and the pen from the project and, you know, drop them as like singles before the album drops, you know? That way we can use the mixes that you prefer type situation. I was like, I'm like, actually, it's even better if it's a 2-pack and not just like singles on their own, because I really enjoyed Spiritual Warfare, but I didn't feel like it made a very strong single on its own, you know? So it's like, yo, man, these songs are still very pen orientated, and even when they were on the album, they were right after each other. So it's just like, yo, man. Like,
makes sense. You can pull it out.
Yeah, we can pull it out and it can be a thing on its own. And that way it'll make sense for us to shoot a video to it. Because if it's on the album, maybe the pen won't get an album. I mean, won't get a video now or at all, maybe, you know? Yeah. And to just give it like, because people really enjoy the Youngsta and Priddy Ugly collabs, like, let's give it a moment. Let's strip it from the album, drop it before, make it part of the rollout just beforehand. And yeah, not really missed with that, bro. And that's really how that came together.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
That's some divine intervention.
Yeah, bro, for sure. For real.
Because it seems so intentional that it was just like, yo, here's the Scooby snack or here's the starter before the main course. You know what I mean?
It did feel like it was planned that way.
Yeah.
It's not even like a...
That's hard.
Because you did it, you know what I'm saying? It feels like, okay, here's something.
That's mad dope.
The entree's on the way.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad it sounds like that. Yeah, it didn't sound like disjointed or nothing, you know?
No, man, the joints were fire. The joints were definitely fire. So then you get to, I mean, the album and carving that out, you know? And like interesting features, you know?
Very interesting.
Some expected, you know what I mean? Or not expected, or rather, some is just like, oh, this makes sense.
Sure.
And then some are just like, I didn't know he was gonna go into that bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is,
some people I even didn't know.
Yeah. You know,
I was like, who is HD?
Oh, of course, yeah. Like, okay,
HD came through with the fire. Like,
definitely.
I was like, whoa.
Yes,
Kitso said like that beat switch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like, so like going into that, you know, how are you handpicking the people that you're going to collaborate with, you know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, with this album, man, like the features weren't about like choosing the most popular features or the features that are gonna get us the most streams. It was really like people that like I admired, like really my favorite rappers, my personal favorite artists. You know, Zulu Meka is like,
I was about to say that was one of the most surprising ones.
Yeah, she's my favorite female rapper. Period.
Yeah.
Like period.
So a strong voice.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, Zulu was just... She actually reached out to me last year. I think it was shortly after the Freestyle Friday thing, you know? She reached out, she's like, yo, big fan, you know, would love to work with you in the future. And I was like, yo, man, actually, I really mess with your work. Yeah, for sure, you know? And I sent her some stuff last year, but there's nothing that's on the album, actually, you know? And
she's also got that strong visual aesthetic.
Yeah, for sure,
very strong
bro.
visual aesthetic.
I mean, her last video featuring Stogie was directed and shot by Side Effects Films, you know, and they did all my music also, you know. Yeah. So yeah, man. So she's so far. She dropped a project last year. I keep forgetting the name of the project, but it's fire, bro. It was just so concise. Like you jammed the whole project in like 20 minutes. The replay value on it was like absolutely crazy, you know. And I put like the team onto her, like, yo, man, there's this artist named Zulu Meka. She's like mad fire. I'd already sent her some stuff to work on, you know, and they're like, all right, cool. And when we were working on the song Let Me Out, more specifically, and we're looking for like a feature, it was actually Vaughn who was like, yo, man, how about like we get that Zulu Meka artist on this one? I'm like, yo, actually. I'm like, well, I've already sent her a lot of joints already, a lot of references, but I'm sure I can send her this one as well, you know, I'm sure she'll kill it. And that was the only artist who I featured who I was actually in the studio with when we did the feature. So she came to my spot and we recorded her there. It was like mad fire. Synergies like crazy, like her spirit, like you feel her spirit when you're in a room with her, you know. It's just like she exudes you know, a spiritual essence that's just like on a different type of frequency, you know. And during COVID, during like being at home last year, like I was like engaging like in a lot of like I was like on a spiritual journey, you know, more on a African spirituality type of journey. And she's long been on that journey, you know. I think that's also why I resonated with her music so much. And yeah, so she was like perfect for that song, you know. And us being in studio together was just like, yo, man, we did that so quick. It was just like, it's mad fire. So shout out to her. She was mad dope. The next feature on the project was, I guess we got Dead Jungle, we got Blackie and HD. And Blackie, I met Blackie last year, also during COVID. I mean, during lockdown, maybe level 5 lockdown. And
how you meeting people level 5 lockdown?
Yeah, I was about to ask. Is this online meeting?
I think no, it was shortly after. Maybe we just moved into level 4 lockdown or something like that. So I live in Midrand, so he was staying in Midrand at Dr. Pepper's place, and Lucas Raps had actually reached out to Herc, my producer, actually. And was like, yo, man, like, yo, we sessioning. And I'm like, it wasn't level, it could have been level 3, because it's like July. It was like around July,
yeah,
you know?
We were slightly open.
Yeah, it was slightly open. Yeah, because I know it wasn't that hectic, you know? It wasn't that hectic, yo. Come on, you know what I mean? So Lucas reached out to Herc, and then Herc was like, yo, man, Lucas hit me up, and they recording, and at Peppers, would you like to like pull up? He asked if you could pull up. And I was like, alright, cool, dog, you know? I remember like I wasn't feeling well that day, and that's how it wasn't like, I didn't want to go. It was just like, I'm not really feeling like being in studio right now. I'm kind of like tired or whatever. Alright, cool, let's go. Yeah. And we got there, and you know, we chilled out. Dr. Pepper, we having our chats. I hadn't seen Pepper like in a minute, and I'd heard of Blackie. I'd heard some of his songs and stuff, you know. But it's just when it was still popping like on SoundCloud, or so it wasn't as crazy as it is now, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the energy, you know, and anyway, so we did a song while I was out there with them, and I remember I left that studio session. And I told B and Vaughn even, I was just like, yo, man, you know, like I never really ever think about signing artists ever. Yo, but if I were to sign an artist,
Blackie,
I'll sign this Blackie kid, you know? Yeah. And like, but I couldn't tell people what it was, man. It was just like, he just had like a solid energy. Like, you know, sometimes you like with kids in the studio, and like you can feel that like, yo, man, dudes don't really understand the game, or like they led by other things and not really the music. It's more about the hype, the clout, or whatever. And when I was in studio with him, bro, dude was like focused. Like his work rate he was just like so efficient, you know? Yeah. And he doesn't write his stuff down. So he was just like so quick. The beat had played, dudes were freestyling. It's like he wasn't feeling like there's a Priddy Ugly in studio with us, so I can't.
Doing him.
You know, he was being himself. Yeah. He was like killing. I was like, man, this kid is like mad fire. So, and then HD was just like, you know, was just some dude that I met on Instagram. You know, Instagram, like, shout out to the internet, bro. It's made like the world such a small place, you know? And I think I just like discovered him on my Explore page, you know, or whatever. And followed him. I've been following him for like a year. And I think he immediately like followed back. And I just reached out to him. I was like, yo, man, like loving the stuff that you actually that you're working on, you know? And he didn't know of me at the time. And he was like, yo, bro, I didn't know who you were. And, you know, after you followed me, I went to go check out your shit. Yo, man, your shit is dope. It would be mad dope if we do like a South African, an African-American type, you know, collab or whatever in the future. And I was like, all right, cool. And I just had that in mind, and I moved on with life, you know. And then when we were working on Dead Jungle, it was almost like a song that never made the album, because I was just like, yo, man, if we don't get a feature and the right feature on this album, on this song, I don't want to have it on the album, you know? And yeah, it had my verse, it had the chorus there, but I wasn't crazy about it, bro. I was just like, and I don't want to put a second verse on it. I'm like, nah, I can't. I'm like, because it's also like me and Vaughn actually speaking about it. It's my least favorite. It's actually like my least favorite song on the project.
Really?
It's my least favorite hook on the project, but it's just like, everyone that I played that song for was just like, yo, this shit is crazy. And I know it's crazy. I think for me, I just have like super high standards.
Yeah.
I just have like...
You judge yourself in a different...
Yeah, bro. It's like, it's completely different for me, you know? Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool, man. It's only going to land if I get like, you know, a dope international feature and another like cool local feature, you know? And then like me and Vaughn were speaking, and we were like, yo, man, like, you think Blackie would work on this thing? I'm like, based on the content that I'm rapping about, it could work.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's his vibe or if he'd be down to. I'm like, yo, man, let me send it to him and see. And
I'm glad you did.
And yeah, and I sent it to him, bro, and he sent it back like within like 2 hours.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, like that quick.
What?
Yeah, but dude stays in the studio, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, when he sent it back that quickly, and I'm like, and I listened to what he said, I was like, oh, that was the first time I got excited about the song. I'm like, all right, cool. Now I can fuck with this song, you know? And I'm like, yo, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, yo, it sounded dope even without Blackie, cool, you know? And then I was speaking to HD on the side, and I sent him a couple of records. And I sent him the record before I sent it to Blackie also, you know? And then he only responded like, you know, weeks later. And he was like, yo, all those songs that you sent me are fire, but like, yo, that Day Jungle one is the one. And in my head, I was just like, damn, now Blackie just recorded on it. Now I'm like, I don't know how I feel about having like 3 whole verses on it, but like it kind of works. Anyway, HD sent his verse. And when he sent it back initially, we still had to like, we're like, yo, man, I mean, the verse, the beat is, I mean, the song is dope, but I think it'll make more sense if we switched up like HD's verse a bit, you know, kind of get the song like a little bit more dynamic. And Wishi did his thing. Wishi like switched up that thing and then became Day Jungle. And now it's like, you know, now, you know, HD has one of people's favorite verses on the whole project. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the Hove comparisons are like, you know, it's got like there's like a very Hovey thing
but
about
even
it,
that
you know?
beat change is like an alley-oop, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
you know what I mean? And I just had to bring my dad in at the end. You know, that just came from like a conversation I was having with him, just about like just the general economy and just like life stuff. You know, my dad is like a, you know, he was in exile. He's a former, you know, National Intelligence Agency, you know, person. He's retired now, you know. But he was just basically just speaking to me, and I was just telling him about the project and telling him what type of project I'm working on. And like, it's not very commercial. It's not like, you know. And he listened to, you know, some of the songs, and he didn't really listen to the songs. He was speaking about the songs. And basically what you're saying is like, yo, man, like we're living through a revolution. I mean, you have the opportunity to be very revolutionary, you know, and he's like, it's not popular to speak about the things that you speak about. In fact, you know, like sometimes you'll face a lot of criticism, and not just from the people. He's like, yeah, because now you start to aggravate the people in power when you speak about certain things, you know. So anyway, he was just giving me this whole long chat about like, you know, how it's like, yo, man, he's done what he's needed to do. I'm a grown-ass man now. And, you know, it's up to me now. And I recorded a little bit of that conversation. It was like a 40-minute conversation. I recorded like 15 minutes of that conversation. He didn't know I was recording it, you know. There was just so many jewels. And then like, you know, when we were thinking about putting that snippet on the thing, actually, there was a lot of things that was said that were very controversial that I just couldn't, I didn't want to put my dad, you know, I just didn't want, I didn't, you know, he already didn't like the first voice note on Egypt, you know, because, you know, we were speaking about like some other things, you know, and for him, it was like, yo, bro, like, I was speaking to you about some very personal stuff there. And
that was just for you.
Yeah, that was for you. And now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I put him on that. And then Mokgethwa, obviously, dog. You know, me and him have been like wanting to work for the longest time, bro. Like, Mokgethwa had been like reaching out to me, you know, maybe even since like 2014, as early as 2014, maybe. And at the time, I wasn't very familiar with him. So, like, I think
Please passed.
Yeah, you know, I didn't like, you know, it happens, you know, but like, yeah, it's one of those things that happens, you know. But in the future, in fact, the first person who played me like Mokgethwa's record, it was like, was Bricks, but it was like back in 2013, and it was Ginger Trill.
Yeah, the train Tetris.
Tetris, you know, He played me there. He's like, yo, dude is fire. I'm like, yo, man, like, yo, he is fire. And then I just been hearing about him over the years, and obviously I got more familiar with his stuff. Got to meet him. I'm like, yo, man, this is a solid dude, man. You know, like such a solid dude, like so much knowledge, bro.
Cerebral,
you know,
cerebral.
Yeah, I mean, even the interview that you guys did, like, you know. That was actually the first time I'd actually sat down and listened to and watched the whole entire podcast that was that long before, you know. And I was like, yo, man, like, yo, so many jewels. I need to get him on a record. And that Rap Relay record was also like another record that I wasn't really gonna put on the project because it was just like a rap verse. And to really be honest, there was another dude that was that I had intended that thing for. It's a dude named Meeks Manny. And Meeks Manny's from the UK. fire. Like, do yourself a favor. Like,
I'm gonna check him out.
Just go check out a dude named Meeks. I
love the Road Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Meeks, MEEKZ, Meeks Manny.
Yeah.
So fire. And me and him have been speaking about a collab for like a minute. And he was just like taking too long also to respond. But like, it wasn't about responding. He told me, he's like, yo, man, I'm actually not in the UK now. I'm traveling. I'm shooting some videos. He was like in Saudi Arabia at the time. He was like on holiday. And I was really just trying to finish out the project, you know what I'm saying? And I told him like, Ish, bro, okay. I waited like almost like 2-3 months, and it was just like, yo, it's a lot
keep
now.
Moving, yeah.
And then I linked up with Glary, and I told him like, yo, man, I got this joint, you know? It was intended for like another dude initially. And me and Meeks have very similar rap styles, you know? Like we can like, you know, use one rhyme scheme, one rhyme pattern, like a whole 48 bars, you know? And that's kind of like what I like about him. He kind of like, the first time I heard him, I felt like, yo, man, this guy raps like how I would rap, you know? And that's why I really enjoyed him. So, yeah, so anyway, fast forward, link up with my Glare, and I was like, yo, this is what was actually happening with the joint. But there's no chorus on this thing, bro. I'm like, yo, because me and my Glare have like other joints that are coming out. But I'm like, yo, for the first time for people to hear us, I'm like, no, I just wanted to be about the raps, bro. So the song is called Rap Relay, no choruses in between. Just, you know, I'm passing the relay baton on to you. Just finish it up, you know. And I went to go link up in Cape Town. We're working on some other stuff out there. And yeah, man, he killed that, you know. And that's that, you know. So yeah, but you know, those are people that are really, I'm happy that I got on the project, because those are dudes that I really admire. And yeah, and it's just like it didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was doing too much with the features, you know. It's very subtle. Because ultimately, it's like it's my second album. It's still really about my story, you know. And these are people whose stories kind of complement mine, or who meets my story and are not able to like kind of transcend that story and like and make it their own. But it's still like we're still speaking about like one cohesive thing. And yeah, man, I just really like how that came together for sure, bro.
Yeah.
Wildfire.
Shout out, bro.
And like, I was blown away by you know, because I love rap.
For sure, yeah.
Like I said, like the Blackie verse really surprised me. Like,
he really pulled out.
Really surprised me. Obviously, like I respect his talent level, but you know, sometimes just as humans, we like box people in and
for sure,
these
bro.
weird labels and just like, okay, he's this sort of artist or he's that sort of artist. And unfortunately for me, I had tagged him as a particular type of artist.
Sure.
And
we didn't expect that kind of delivery.
I did not expect that sort of vibe from him, and he aced it, you know what I mean? He definitely has one of the best projects this year.
Definitely.
Friggin' amazing, but like hearing him in that
bag,
unapologetic, unfiltered rap,
right.
Just like, yo, more rap, you know
rap,
what I mean? Like I even asked myself, like, did Priddy even say, yo,
we got a rap?
Rap.
I didn't say nothing.
Like now when you're saying it, it's just like, yo, he just literally understood the assignment,
sure,
and then
bro.
he took it to another level. Like that's one of the hardest verses I've heard this year, bro. Like,
for sure. That verse is like just the way, like the pockets that dude chooses when writing a beat, bro. It was just like that's exactly because you were going into like just from a nerd perspective. Like the scheme is dope, the pocket is dope, and then like you. Coupled with the fact that you're not expecting it from him, you know what I mean? And like I'm not like I'm saying like this is a wild dope verse this year, not wild dope verse for Blackie. Sure,
no.
It's
like
wild dope verse.
I think people are really gonna like that one. I mean, like I mean when I met him, bro, it's just like from the small things he was doing in the studio, and obviously we're working on more like commercially trappy stuff that day. But still, when I heard him, I was like, yo, man, I feel like there's so many there's so many different dynamics to like this dude, you know? And I felt like, yo, man, like, obviously I hadn't heard much of his stuff at the time, but I'm like, yo, man, like, if this dude can actually, like, include, like, more vernac into his shit, he's going to be, like, so fire. And then, like, within, like, 2 weeks, I started hearing, like, he's already started doing that shit. I'm like, oh, okay, shit, like, he's fire. I'm like, yo, you know, and, like, just from that, I'm like, I know he can rap. Like, I didn't feel like, I'm going to send this to him, and I don't think he'll do that well. It was like, nah, it's like, I absolutely knew he'd kill it. I just wasn't sure if he was going to like it. I mean, like the song, to hop onto the song, you know? Maybe he might have thought like, oh, big bro, maybe this is not really
this
like
is not my
vibe,
bag,
you know
not
what
my
I'm
bag,
saying? And like, oh, no, he owned that shit, you know? Shout out Blackie one time, some of y'all might get, the album is out, you know? Yo, support,
Definitely fire album.
Sure.
This is a fire album, and
yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting one.
Sheesh. What's your favorite song, Kitso?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna be frank with you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Por Favor.
Yeah, Por Favor is dope, but I don't know, man.
Por
Like I said, that HD dog, like that HD.
Yeah.
But rap, the rap relay one, only because like that verse you had rapped on your story somewhere.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And I
you
keep
pay
playing
attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I keep playing it back. I was like, yo, this is so fly. So when I heard it already in my head, I was like, oh, I was rapping along to it. I was like, oh, yo.
That's so hard.
Yeah. So that one already had like a, yo.
Sure.
This is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
for the rap fans, for sure.
Yeah, well, it's definitely for the rap fans. And obviously, like, the stuff that Mokgethwa raps about is like stuff that I resonate with, you know what I mean?
Course,
the Tatiana, you know,
Come on, dog.
18, you know what I mean?
And that's the part he was rapping in the stories, you know what I'm saying? So I was like,
yes, sir.
I think you're opening like a H1 or something.
Yes, sir.
You see, that's like, even when I saw, I was like, yo, this is. I played it back. I was like, yo, this is
hard.
So when I heard the song, I was like, oh my gosh.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah, people love that. I mean, you heard the reaction to his verse on the song because we recorded it in a room full of other dudes. Like some Cape Townian artists. I'm really not familiar with them also. But we're on a camp out there. Shout out to Dizzy Monks and them, you know.
Yeah.
Gogs that they'd had us out there in Cape Town. And so there were a couple of dudes in the studio while we were working on that song. And I mean, my verse was already done. It was just Mokgethwa just lacing his. And like the whole room, you actually are hearing, people are like, is that you? I'm like, no, that's the room reacting to his verse, you know? He did it like in one take, not like in one take, it was one take, done, finished, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
What joint is that where you like, she like a Birkin, like she love Amakosa?
That's Whoa, track 4.
Yeah.
That's also a special one. Yeah.
I like that one too.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites also.
But for war, for me, like as a song.
Sure,
Yeah, but then
love that joint.
The verses is like the Por Favor, definitely like you completely, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, nice. And then the verses like the Lucy's like Mokgethwa, but like Blackies.
Sure.
Just like I ran Blackies like back like 4 times.
Damn.
I counted like 4 times. Did I even text you? I think I might have texted you. I think I texted Keith, like, this nigga Blackie, dog.
Because I remember when I got onto Blackie, I was like, yo, who is this kid? And I don't know if I sent it to you guys. I was like, yo, who's this guy who's always with Lucas Raps? Because at that time he was always with Lucas.
And that's how I knew him too.
Yeah. I know that kid's gonna be special.
Nah, he's mad special.
He's
special. Very special, you know.
Definitely a special guy, man. But like, yo, it's a special album. I think the conversation that you have with the pops was like a lot of merit to it. You know what I mean? This is definitely going to be an uncomfortable reaction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they always say that the cleaner, it gets a lot of weird stares.
Yeah.
Because he exposes the dirt. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I feel like this is what the album is going to do. From my perspective, what I've noticed is that, like you said, like it doesn't take a great author to pen a bestseller.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But the bestseller always wants to be a great author.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And like no matter how much success rappers have, they always still want to rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They be regarded as the best
they want to have the rap slider in their metric to be high, you know. And then when they see somebody excelling in that, it does rub them up the wrong way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
they start to give you like labels that kind of like push
you know
you away from the number one spot. Like,
Sure.
So it does feel like it could get uncomfortable for a lot of the peers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not sure how that makes you feel. If that's it's a dope chest pump, but it's also like you have to live with that now.
For sure, yeah.
But in the same breath, internationally, this one can fly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
like,
one
this is chatting to that. This is chatting to,
you know,
to great rap albums that I've heard this year.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you know what I'm
bro.
saying?
Yeah.
It's. I can see a West Side Gun.
Yeah.
Saying I've heard a South African
Shout
something.
out. Yo.
You know?
He actually reached out to Stogie after the freestyle actually.
What?
And he was like,
you see? Hey, yo!
Yeah.
You see?
You know what I'm saying? Actually, Stogie actually hit me. I was like, yo, man, did he hit you up? And
I can see
I was like, nah, he
yeah.
didn't. He's like, yo, because he hit me up and he was like, yo, who's this guy? You know? And I was like, oh, that's fine.
Yep.
So dudes are definitely like, you know, paying attention, you know.
Plugged in, bro. That's why I say.
African stream, bro.
I say, bro.
The words is powerful.
This record, it can skate on that side.
Yo, bro, that's really what we were intending for it, you know? I mean, also for us, like, it was like, I mean, I love rap. We love hip hop, but it's also like a risk, almost like dropping like a rap project in the climate of like where we're at right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like everyone, you know how many dudes in my circle, also like my family members or some who've heard like the Mokgethwa stuff or whatever. Like, yo, why don't you do the Amapiano thing, Joe? You know? My grandma speaks about me doing gospel. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, I listen to the radio. I never hear you playing. I don't see you on TV, you know. Mara, like, banaba, remix di pinasa, tasfela, and you know, and I hear them, but when now, like, you know, she worries about me. She's like, why don't you just do like pina, like our main one, gospel, you know? And I was like, nah. I feel you, man. I feel, you know, but like, you know. Or like, you know, we could have done like some other stuff, like, you know, the more commercial bag, like the more clubby songs or the more Amapiano mix with hip hop type vibes. And it's just like, yo, man, like I felt like, especially like in the last year or two, that like I'm not hearing enough hip hop, just for me, you know. And so it's like, yo, if I feel like that, like how does the hip hop audience feel, you know? And it's just like, and we can't keep complaining about how like, yo, hip hop is dead and whatever the case is, when like rappers are not rapping though, you know? It's just like, but rappers must rap, you know what I'm saying? You can do anything else. You can do everything else you want to do, but like, if we're not rapping, my gents, like, then we're allowing this thing to die, if you know. And I'm not, and I don't think it will ever die. I'm just saying, but we're allowing ourselves to get into the position that we are in now as a community, you know. So, and especially if like the top rappers are not rapping, you know, because like there's a lot of underground dudes who haven't stopped rapping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not saying that like dudes aren't rapping at all. There are definitely dudes who are rapping, you know, but like, yo, we need people who are going to be rapping at the highest level and pushing and promoting that stuff, not like as an underground album, you know. It's just intended for the streets or whatever. Like, no, we actually like, you know, we're pitching this worldwide, bro. You know, the idea is for us to do like a Pan-African tour, a UK tour, at a later stage an American tour. I mean, you know, HD's in Brooklyn, you know. So, you know, Dig Jungle video coming soon, you know, you guys may see that, you know. So, but really, like, it was really like to put like a stamp on like the African continent, to say that like, yo, hip hop in Africa isn't dead and is very much alive. And like, yo, and I feel like, you know, South Africa has some of the best MCs in the world, not just in Africa, like in the world, you know. And me feeling like I'm one of them, myself and the people who I see as some of the best people in the world. I'm trying to put this on a record where we can export this to the rest of the world and be like, yo, like these are South Africans. Granted, there's one guy from Brooklyn, but like, yo, but he's from Africa. You know, his family is African. You know, I think he's of Ghanaian descent. This is HD, that is. You know, so. Yeah, man, like, for me, like, my mandate really, and my team's mandate was to, like, yo, man, keep the spirit of hip-hop, like, very much alive, you know? And for me, this was, like, a dope exercise, you know, like, just rap exercise, you know? It's like I got to, like, rap on some beats that I never, like, would have rapped on maybe, like, a year ago. And granted, when we were working on the album, some of the beats that Shooter had made weren't my favorite beats. You know, so it's like, and I've said this to Shooter before, and that's not because the beats weren't dope, but it was also me like getting out of my comfort zone, because my comfort zone had always been like, yo, Weechi comes through with the beats that slap. It's already fire without me on it. So I don't really have to do much.
With that 808.
With that, you know what I'm saying? It's just there, you know, if I come up with like a nice cool flow, a nice catchy hook, like I'm almost like 50%, 60% there, you know? But with the beats that we chose on this album, they were like really like a blank canvas where it's like, yo, this beat is hard, or it's dope, but like if I don't come through with dope raps on it, it's just the beat, bro.
I'm exposed.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm very exposed.
Yeah.
Exactly. I didn't have like an 808 to lean onto or like some crazy stuff. It was like I really had to like really test myself as like a songwriter, as a lyricist, you know, just putting together like concepts it's like just conceptually meeting the idea of what like the producer had intended for the song. Because like a lot of the songs, actually when we did the songs, they already, if you look at the track list, let's say like songs like Loose Change, the beat was already titled Loose Change, you know? So it wasn't even like, it was like something
you have to come up with it.
I had to come up with or whatever. Concept, it was just like, yo.
Presented itself.
Yeah, I kind of, I like that title. I'm like, Loose Change. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to write a song just based off of that, you know? Songs like Let Me Out, track 2 was Zulu Mecca. Was also one of those songs where it's like that was the title of the beat already, you know. So it's just like so shout out to Shooter also, you know, songs like Dead Jungle, the beat was already titled Dead Jungle.
That's crazy.
And I was like, yo, that's such a fire title. So it's just like, so it was a completely different working experience for me, because usually like I'm writing the song, and then after I come up with the song, I might come up with the chorus, you know.
Come up with a catchy something,
you know,
and
then I get the title of the song, and then like, you know, whatever. But now it was like working backwards. It was like, yo, I like Dead Jungle. It's like, damn, man, that's such a dope title. What can I do with that, you know? And what do I envision when I think about a Dead Jungle? So for me, it was like, yo, I envision like my environments and where I come from, and coming from Angola, moving to Soweto, growing up in the East. And it was just like, the whole concept is like, when we say Dead Jungle, is like, it's like this space, this concrete jungle where everything in it is very much alive, but everything happening in it is very dirty and spoiled. You know, it's just like
toxic.
It's very toxic, you know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what I was trying to like create in the imagery of like when I was writing the song. So what's dope about dudes like Blackie and how I know these are special dudes is like he was able to meet me right there, you know? He didn't come through with like just a swaggy verse about whatever,
man. Because that was like a good Kid Mad City.
For sure. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's really what it was. Oh, songs like Whoa Whoa also, like that was the title of the beat. And I just like, oh, whoa, whoa. You know, so just the way the thing came together was actually like, even for me, like it surprises me like how some of the stuff came together, because like I really was challenged in this thing, you know? And because of that, like it's the project that like I'm the most proud of for sure.
Also, shout out to whoever mixed it, yo. Whoever engineers, that's some mixed by Ali standard, bro.
That's hard because that's that's low key where we're going. Zucchi, shout out to Zucchi.
Yeah, because that's
my guy.
Because I bumped it on 3 different speakers, bro.
That's so crazy.
Because the first time I listened, I was like, yo, this is really good. But I was like, this is monitor speaker, so let me take it into the car.
For sure.
Bumped it in the car. I was like, yo, this is, let me Bluetooth it.
Jeez.
Yo, you know what I'm saying?
That's so fire.
It's
bro.
hard. I love the quality. I love it.
Yo, that's so fire.
Now.
Yeah, because we spent. I'd never spent so much time on like mixing and mastering.
Nah, but even like the
project,
texture. Shout out to y'all because like the texture, and I don't mean to like give it like something like I'm comparing it to, but it was the reason I say mixed by Ali is because it has like the TDE texture where like the voice is here, but the beat is not like it's here.
Yeah,
it's inside but they don't fight over space.
Definitely,
if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
That's
it's
what
like
we're going for.
so breathy, but like it's full.
Yeah,
you understand?
That's just like what is a guy like you? That's what we're going for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because that's a hard thing to accomplish.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But that's just like background things.
Engineer boys.
Sure.
Yeah, but like
that's so fire, bro. I mean, we spent like 2-3 months just on the mixes, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of these songs have like.
Yeah, my nigga, there's no preset.
Maybe at least
no preset mixing.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe at least 20 references of like the type of mix that we wanted. You know what I'm saying?
That's no preset.
Yeah, Doug. So I was like, yo, man. So shout out to like dudes like, shout out to Zucchi Coke Dope. I mean, and that's what I mean when I'm speaking about the project and like just having so many people, like having a team being really invested like in like the project that we're working, because usually like it's my work, I'm doing it with Wichi, it's like I'm done, like I record what I need to record, and then Wichi just finishes it off or whatever the case is, and then sometimes I'll sit with him. No, most times I sit with him while he's mixing, except for Goat was the only one where I sent it to him and then he sent it back, and
you're like, guys.
And cool, I had issues with it, but like I was just like, it's fine. Maybe I'm the only one who have those issues with the mixes. But with this one, like we camped here, bro, for weeks at a time, dog. Dudes were tired, not sleeping, just trying to get like the, just the mix and the sonics right, bro. So it's just like that attention to details has been like, yo, man, it's really felt like working on like an art piece, bro. You know, from the artwork that we had a guy named Doomy work on, who's an incredible painter as well. And the people will see eventually when it comes out, to the visuals that now we've been shooting. You know what I'm saying? We are flying to different provinces to shoot like 5 seconds of a scene. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, man, for me, it's like it's fire, So I just can't wait for the project to come up, people to hear what we've been working on. I've never worked on a project this long, Goat we worked on in a month. You Don't Know Me Yet, that did in a week, weekend-ish, Egypt, maybe Egypt was like also like a month and a bit. Well, it felt longer. Because it took me a while to get into the actual recording of it.
Okay.
But eventually when we started recording it, it was like about a month.
Yeah.
And this one has been like a year,
Oh, no.
Yeah. I've had to be patient. Yeah, for sure.
Well worth the wait, bro.
Can't wait for you guys to hear it, man.
I hate talking about something where like the person
people haven't heard it, right? It's just
but
like,
it's really dope. It's really dope.
Thank you so much, man.
Really, really dope.
I feel like I've done my job now. If you guys say it's good, dog, it's just like,
Soil on the 9th.
Really?
9th of July.
Oh, damn, yeah. Okay, so we're dropping the first single on the 9th of July.
9th of July.
Will this be out by then?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Soil, the pre-order will be out.
Yeah.
Oh, did we just say what the title is?
The title is, I was about to say.
Were
we allowed to say that?
Let's go. Yeah.
Soil coming to you live.
I mean, there's a track there that's kind of spicy.
Yeah.
We were bumping in the car.
Damn.
This is theory.
Sure. Let's hear this.
Let's see if he's right. Kitso, hit him.
Handful of dust.
Yeah, I know that. I'm trying to find out. I forgot the title of the track.
Sure.
I forget
Who's the best rapper?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. So it is spicy.
So it's titled Handful of Dust.
Handful of dust.
Yes, sir.
Wild spice. Dust.
Yeah, that was
Spice
mad
looks like
spicy.
dust.
You see, the thing is,
Everything there is very intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm right. You see.
Ah.
I was like, yo, is this it?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd rather go to school before you? Okay.
You know what I'm saying, Doug? Come on.
Okay.
Was there a particular line that you remember from there?
Yeah,
That one.
Yeah.
That one. The one preceding that.
Yeah.
And then you go into, I'd rather go to school than drive a Bentley. It's like,
come on, you know what I'm saying? What do I say so that people can hear?
Tell them
It's
the part, man, so people
I say,
I want him to say it. I don't want to seem like I'm like,
yeah. I get to fuck your favorite rapper, spirit animal. This rap beef hunger turn me to a spitting cannibal. Aries, demon, if you scheming, know I am the GOAT. I watched The Lion King, ain't see Mufasa eat an antelope. I'd probably build a school before I buy a Bentley. Buy plenty of land before I ever buy her Fendi. Fill up was empty before I ever tried an entry. Piper Robin Fenty, so my girl can try. Yeah, anyway, I forgot the lyrics, but
even in
yes, sir.
Even in some of the opening bars, you'd be like, not turn into hibachi steak.
Yes, sir.
It's like, you will throw it back to the, you know what I'm
So
saying?
I know people are gonna hit me up about like with that line more specifically.
Yeah.
I'm like rappers in a cocky place. I'm not the one you turn into hibachi steak.
Yeah.
Lost his taste. Now your favorite rapper probably dropping plates.
Yeah.
Copy paste. I'm Hailey Selassie in Versace shades. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Reese has a song called Hibachi. You know what I mean?
Yo, man.
And
And that's my joint.
That's
Yeah,
a
That's one of the
that's
best
hard.
rap
Yeah,
songs
that's
this year.
hard.
Hibachi's, yo.
Hibachi is hard, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just like, again, you know, so right, here's a backstory. So there's some dudes who live in, and the backstory has nothing to do with with the song specifically, but there's some dudes who live in my complex, and they like, as I step out of my apartment, they like in the apartment in front of me, and they're at the top, and they super Reese fans, right?
Okay.
I don't really know how many dudes live there, but like there's always like
that kind of
at least
situation.
like 10 dudes by the balcony, you know, like smoking or playing some shit. You know what I'm
Clubhouse
saying?
Old man thing to say. Give my G. Yeah.
So yeah, so like, you know, every now and then when I step out, you know, like, you know, they'll ask me some questions about whatever, you know. They ask me about the April 2nd freestyle, like, yo, like, what are you saying about our guy Reese? You know, what are you know? So I'm like, yo, that line actually wasn't for Reese, it was for you guys, you know, for people like you guys, you know, who are gonna get touched by that stuff, you know? And but anyway, they're always just speaking to me about, like, you know, because, you know, I hear them have conversations sometimes when they don't realize that I'm there, or I'm listening, or sometimes I may have just parked the car and they're having this, or maybe like they're having the conversation so I can hear it, you know?
Yeah. It's intended for you.
Yeah, you know, and they'll be saying, like, they're telling their boys, like, yeah, no, that's pretty, yeah, so he's like a rapper, he's like the lyricist, you know, there's different type of lyricists, but like, Reese is this type of guy, and whatever, you know? And it's all love. I think Reese is like mad dope, you know? It's like, that's my guy. I mean, I featured him on You Don't Know Me Yet, you know?
Yeah.
Granted, we haven't spoken in a minute. In fact, he was the first dude who was intended for Every Monster's Got a Peak. And he was down, we're down to work on it, and then, you know, the usual story, then dudes just don't get back to you. Or let me not say dudes, you know, Reese has that thing where like people are like, hey, Arabi food, no, you know.
Arabi do food.
Yeah. But yeah, Arabi do food.
Arabi do food. Honest.
You know, so it's just like one of those things. So anyway, that's just to say, like, I have nothing against it. But anyway, with that line, you know, rap is in a cocky place. I'm not the one who turns into a hibachi steak. I'm just saying, like, you know, Reese is just talking about like how he
Yeah,
how he turns rappers into a hibachi steak, and I'm like, that's dope. You probably do.
Gaining body weight.
I'm not that one, though. And that's like no diss. I'm just saying, I'm like, yo, you dope. Other dudes are being turned into a hibachi steak, but
you're not the one.
Not me, bro.
I like that.
Not me.
I enjoy that energy.
And that's all it is, you know. And then obviously, like with that, with the Mufasa line, you know, it's just like, you know, I mean, I got Mufasa again. Mufasa, you know, Mufasa is supposed to be like what, you know, the Lion King, you know, the king of the jungle, Baba. The king of the jungle, you know, and king it's like got mad respect for everything, like, you know, he does, and really have nothing against him necessarily, you know what I'm saying? But I was just addressing like a line that was true, you know. He had tweeted one time to say that, you know, somebody who I just so happened to be married to, you know, is his spirit animal, you know? And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's just one of those things, you know? So it's just
I was like, yo, he's pretty specific, you know what on I'm this saying? One.
So it's just like, you know, and just like also like, I mean, the album is gonna come out and, you know, people are gonna listen to this. I mean, we're talking like Rabu. So just like, yeah, man, I mean, and, you know, dudes like him are like, you know, I can say quote unquote or unquote, like have been like the kings of this game for the last couple of years, you know, and our so-called kings are people who can leave the genre when they want to, like leave the genre to do other things, and I have nothing against that, you know. But I'm saying, as someone who's an advocate for hip hop and for this thing, it's just, I'm like, yo, if you're a king and you're not in control of the kingdom anymore, like, are you really king? You know? So that's just something I was addressing, you know, like that, you know. Nah, that was like we've carried on, like I said earlier on, like we're friends, like dudes are not my friends, but I'm a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying?
Mufasa's, you know.
Yeah.
Mufasa was one of the only people that dropped the unapologetic mainstream rap album last year.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
He went Orepile, whether you say it's good or not.
Sure.
Whether you enjoyed it or not.
No, I agree. Sure.
Orepile.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So like, he does leave the genre now and then, but you know what I mean?
No, he's definitely held it down, though. And like, I mean, obviously with the line, it's just like, I mean, really, you know, I said what I said. It's not really like a diss. It's just like being honest. Like, yo, I would probably build a school before I buy a Bentley. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm that type of guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like if and that's not knocking him for buying a Bentley.
I'm with you, bro.
It's like, bro,
what I would do.
I'm just saying me.
Yeah.
And if I'm speaking about the Lion King, I'm just saying that, like, I never saw Mufasa eat an antelope. That's just fact. Did you watch the Lion King?
I did.
Did you see Simba and Mufasa eat an antelope or eat?
I saw Simba eating a bunch of bugs.
Yeah, you check what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I just know,
so just like hip hop. So obviously,
I just
like,
know there were people that would shake when they heard Mufasa's name, though.
Yeah, Mufasa.
Just like, I'm not one of them. You know what I
mean? You know, but I do like that you're going against that. Not going against, but like when you spar, you do spar with opponents that are worthy. Because like hibachi steak for me, hibachi was like, I think I told you, I was telling you, like, I love that project, top to bottom. I love today's tragedy, tomorrow's memory. I messed up the title, but that project I really love, and hibachi was like, that was my joint. Just
that's dope. That's dope,
shit
bro.
ain't fitting right. I'm gaining body weight. Turning rappers to hibachi steak. I was like, man. You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure, bro. And it's like, even with that breath, I'm still not sitting here saying I hate these dudes.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm like, yo, it's like,
definitely.
I think dudes got fire. Like I said, you know, got so much respect for like the work that like Casper has done, and just like the inspiration overall that he's just given like young black kids to say like, yo, dog, you can do this thing. You know?
And how far you can take.
You know what I'm saying? Dudes also like Reese who are like rapping and whatever. I'm just saying, yo, in the space of all these guys who are like inspiring, like the Caspers and the dudes who are killing the rap shit like Reese, I'm saying like, yo, I'm here too. You know, that's really all it was about. You know, and it's hip hop, bro. So you know what I'm saying?
Hip hop, dog. Mufasa said it.
Hip hop, dog. You know what I'm saying? So
and like Priddy said,
rappeng, my friend.
And I do my rapper, and I want to hear.
Yeah,
I personally want to hear some replies. That I'm sorry. I love a reply.
I'll be waiting for a reply, gentlemen.
I want a Mufasa reply.
I'd love to hear a reply too, bro.
I want a Reese. Because when Reese just goes in, when he does the subliminals, it's so beautiful, man. What you hear every time he sneaks in the subliminals to people, it's just like so masterful.
For sure, like, bro. Yo, it's so just like, dude's really rap, bro. And it's like, and he's really one of them. Like, he's like, I'm so happy is like still like doing this thing and it's getting like his roses right now. You know what I'm saying?
Especially doing it on his terms.
Definitely, bro. I think like it's so fire. So I have like so much respect for dudes who are doing that kind of stuff. You know, so but like I'm saying, like I'm here too. You know, so just like I think you know, like I said, like a lot of times, like dudes are afraid to like step on toes, and like I'm generally like, I'm known as like a nice dude, you know, because I'm just that guy. Like I'm nice, I got no problem. I'm with my wife. I'm like in my own corner or whatever, you know. So I just stepped out of the corner that I've been in to come play on the playground with the other kids, you know, just for like for a little bit, and that's really what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So like let's spar, you know, because. I've been in the gym.
I can't wait for people to hear this.
Yo man,
can't wait for you guys to hear it, man.
I can't wait for you.
Fire coming soon, 9 July. The pre-order is coming out.
Yes, sir.
You know the vibes.
Priddy Ugly, Soil.
Come on. Last interview, Fred actually asked me, he's like, "Yo, bro, do you really think you top 5?" I was like, bro,
I still remember that.
I really do be testing.
Even after we turned off the mics, you were like, "Yo, you think Priddy Ugly can beat you?" I'm like, "Nigga, hell no."
I did. I was live because that's when I think that was when Strings and Bling came out, and I loved Strings and Bling. You know what I mean? And I was like. Is he gonna rap? Is he gonna out-rap? You know what I mean? You gonna out-rap Stony? I even
you did.
You gonna out-rap Stony? And you were like, yo. And I loved how you didn't back down. Didn't back down. You know what I mean? And just like, and I just love when people just like, the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
And then when, you know what I mean? Because
it's one thing to say it is one thing to be it.
You know when a rapper is dope. You know what I mean? Like you said, you can spot a dope rapper, but can they be dope in this lane? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then like we knew you had so many lanes and we knew you excelled in all of those lanes. Like I always call you, I think you've heard, I call you high quality. You know what I mean? That's like the high quality artist, you know what I mean? But will he be high quality in the 100% full-blown rap? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then like when I heard this, it was just like I even forgot about that. Like I even forgot about those comparisons, and it was already like actually he is top tier. He is in the top tier.
Shout out, man. That's actually what I like about platforms like this. You know, you get to address these things. You get to, you know.
I love it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want.
I love this stuff.
I always want.
The story to
build and to come back to me. You know what I mean?
For sure,
if I pull a card,
hold me accountable, bro.
Nah, man, I love it. I mean, Ricky called me after the last one. You know what I'm saying? And we got to have a conversation that we weren't able to have for at least a year prior to that thing. You know. Yeah. So I also like the conversation that it opens up for people to have. So it's like, even from discussing this, you know, maybe those dudes who I mentioned here and there were like, you know, maybe we'll get to have a conversation.
I don't want a conversation. I want
a reply.
I miss events in rap.
I want that. Like, and shout out to that. You know what I mean? The Ricky Rick conversation that happened, and shout out to him being on GOAT as well. You know what I mean? I love that joint.
Yo, man.
As well.
Me too. He actually called me today, which is also dope. You know.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Ricky Rick, and actually, you know, doing that's grown shit. You know what I mean? Like
he didn't have to call you.
He didn't have to call you.
He didn't have to. Yeah.
You know,
it's dope that he did.
So it's a dope thing that it was a grown man conversation. But with that said,
yes, sir.
All of the ones that caught the sparring, can they spar back? I would love that. I would literally love that. You know. Oh man, so can't wait for the public to hear it.
Yeah,
a lot of other conversations we could have, and because I mean, there's so much that's about Priddy. You know what I mean? But
it's way too much.
It looks like
it's actually a lot.
But this lane, I think, is dope that we concentrated on this one.
For sure.
I mean, the other conversations of you in your personal capacity and the other stuff that you have, the Rick Jade stuff that's still to continue. I'm sure.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know that's
another thing.
That's a story that will unravel. But right now,
Hey man, I appreciate you guys for this one, man.
Appreciate you,
man. Keep up the good work, bro.
Oh man, you keep up the great work.
Harder you went out here, dog. Shout out to the Limpopo boys worldwide out there, you know.
Kenty, love you, dog. And like you would say, and I think this is a special one, especially for me and Kitso, you know.
Super special for me, bro.
Yo,
I just want to say shout out to my moms.
Shout out to my moms.
Yep.